This version of It's Erik Nagel has been modified from its original broadcast. Content has been edited to fit this platform.
A message for the ladies and gentlemen around the world and all the ships at sea.
We all make choices, but in the end, our choices make us.
So choose wisely. Subscribe to It's Erik Nagel wherever shows are found, on whatever platform you choose. And as always, leave us a positive review. Would you kindly?
There is a lot of warning signs here. If this was a race, it would be all red flags.
Yeah, yeah. I'm getting to be like, this is a little bit too much.
What's blinking behind you, Erik?
Yeah, I just saw that.
Yeah, what is that?
I don't know.
Is that lightning?
Yo, what was that? Kill
Are
it,
there
Erik.
windows in there? Kill
I
it.
saw that.
It's just a ghost. What's behind the curtain?
What was that?
I have no idea what that was. I thought
You
it was
saw
just
that,
glitching
right?
on the camera, but I saw it in the screen like it was blinking.
It was blinking behind you. Like,
weird.
it looked like he was coming. Oh, there it goes again.
You guys, we're seeing a ghost right now.
We just saw a ghost.
We just saw a ghost.
Live here. See, this is why we have to go streaming, Erik, because other people could have seen the ghost.
Yeah.
And then they would have been like, there's a fucking ghost. And not only that, I'm not coming over again, Erik. I ain't coming over.
There's no ghost.
I'll come over.
I saw it.
Hunt it.
It's not.
We just saw the ghost.
It's not flashing anymore.
Well, yeah, because it's embarrassed. Like, we caught it flashing. It was like, oh, shit.
It's embarrassed that we caught it, or embarrassed like, oh, look at this place.
It's like a little of column A, a little from column.
It's Erik Nagel. And it starts now.
Ladies and gentlemen of the universe, the next voice you hear.
Erik Nagel.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the program. My name is Erik. Over there, looking at me lovingly, that is Giddles. And giving me quite the scowl, that would be Zia.
That's what I do.
Phone lines are open, 651-SMITHERS, 651-764-8437. Follow us on the social media platforms, all different kinds, or just the few that we actually use. It's Erik Nagel. We're on there. Like us on Facebook. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. And in the past, we did those playlists for Spotify because more and more people were telling us that they're listening to us on Spotify. So we're going to be doing an update for that soon. Zia already did hers. I have that. It's all set to go. I still have to do mine, and we're waiting on Giddles as well. He's going to add another. Well, Giddles wants to do something a little different. We're adding to our playlist. Giddles likes to theme his shit out.
Yeah.
So Giddles is going to make
week,
the what?
Depending on my mood.
All right, so he's going to have another playlist. He's going to do a series of playlists depending on themes and moods, and I believe there's going to be Punch and Pie.
Yeah. So there's going to be Punch and Pie.
Always Punch and Pie. So look for those. We will be putting them out on the social media stuff. So you can enjoy the playlist. People seem to like Zia's playlist.
Oh, good.
And I think that's just because she's a girl, no offense. And
Great, thanks a lot. What are you trying to say about my taste in music?
I think you've got some good. I think you've got some good taste in music. In fact, your new update doubled some of the stuff that I was going to use, but I only heard about it like Zia's a great addition. I like Zia. Zia's good on the show. I'm like, okay. But I also did get a lot of good responses for Giddles' playlist.
Giddles is a good playlist.
Mine-
We had some double stuff on ours.
Mine is, I think mine's a little too poppy, a little too upbeat. I need to get weird with it for the next round of it.
Yeah, you got to get weird with it, man. Put weird stuff on there. And then people like, that was a weird song. Be like, oh, I just put that on there. I don't actually like it.
I've never actually heard this song, but here you go.
So we're going to have the new updates for the playlist coming very, very soon. And so we're seeing some growth on Spotify for people listening there. And then, of course, the iHeart app, which is where we like to direct everybody to go to listen to the program. If not, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Everybody's got a podcast now. You can find us everywhere. We're littering not the airwaves, the internet.
The data trenching.
Internet waves.
The internet waves with our nonsense and taking up all your valuable space and storage on your phone.
Nice. That's what we do.
That is, yeah.
It's been a week. Guys, how have you been? Giddles, I haven't seen you in a while. We last talked about your adventures to Virginia Beach that previous weekend. Are you going anywhere this weekend?
Oh, yeah. I'm getting out of town again. Going upstate.
What?
Yeah, just going upstate for the weekend. My friend's dad has a house He's letting us use it, so I'm going to go up there for a couple days, and should be fun.
Yeah,
What kind of stuff do you do upstate? What's
sit
upstate
around.
stuff?
None of your business is what he does.
Well, it's upstate, so
Tell
there's
me
really
everything.
nothing to do. Like you drive around, you look, you point at cows, you find a farm, you get some like good eggs.
There's
and,
that
like, good-
place we had pancakes once.
Yeah, there's always the diner that you stop at, and
Pancakes. That sounds good.
my other friends are bringing up their telescope, and we got the mount for it, so we could put like a really high end camera on it. And we're gonna try and take some like good pictures of Saturn and Jupiter and shit like that.
That's pretty sweet.
So that should be pretty fun.
Why don't you get that same said telescope with the high-powered lens and bring it back to your building and go up on the roof and use it?
Because I don't have that. I don't live there anymore. The roof.
Oh, well, go over there.
I mean, but we use it like out on Long Island all the time, and we see Saturn well, like just with our eyes, and it looks crazy. It's like it looks fake when it goes across the screen. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's
With my
fine.
lens,
But
rather.
you got to look into apartment windows. Go peek into Manhattan from Brooklyn.
Eric, you're such a creep.
Well,
No,
you can
I'm
see
not.
people doing it.
If you go into any high-rise building and you see apartment buildings, more times than not, you see on at least one telescope in somebody's apartment or balcony on every floor.
I think you're thinking of every apartment you see in Grand Theft Auto when you play.
No. This is actual thing. Well, that they do have those in Grand
Or
Theft Auto.
binoculars.
But
Is
the
it-
problem, but yeah, I feel like binoculars would be better because this telescope, if I'm gonna see Saturn clearly, it's gonna be way too close to see the city. You know what I mean?
No,
Like,
I
Well,
think
but
you'll be
which
all
is-
right.
I mean, I might see Uranus.
I think you'd be all right. I think you should go and do some voyeuring
Eric didn't
into
even
the
get
city
that
of
one.
Manhattan. That's just me,
got
Right
though.
it.
over his head. Right over his head.
I mean,
Telescope.
Lisa needs braces.
which is creepier though, a telescope or binoculars?
I think binoculars.
Yeah,
definitely
right?
creepier.
Binoculars are tactical, so you can position, you can see everything, and you can also position yourself in a way behind something so they really can't see you. A telescope, there's no hiding that, and it's the ballsier move to have a high-powered telescope to. With binoculars, like, oh, I can see in their balcony, I can see their living room, or maybe if the bedroom's right there next to the living room and they have the curtain open, you can see that. With the telescope, you're seeing past that into the kitchen and the other rooms.
I disagree. I think if someone's looking in the window and they see you with the telescope, they assume that you're looking at the stars because it's a telescope. Or if they see you looking with binoculars, they know you're only trying to look about a half mile, and they know that you're a creep. Like, there's no way to sit there looking through a window like this and not look like a weirdo, dude.
Dress up as
Could be
if you were in the
birdwatching.
woods. Camouflage, stuff on a helmet. Just sit there with that. They can't see you.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, "Hey, look at that apartment. There's some weird tree in the
Yeah,
window
look at
that's
that
just
tree."
oscillating like a fan." But do you think it's a person? Nope, it's definitely a tree.
Why are
It's green
these
and brown
flashes
and
coming
tan.
from the tree?
Yeah, there's a birdhouse in
I
it.
see a red light. Is that tree recording us? What is it? What's going on here?
Yeah, exactly.
Heard it all before, Giddles.
Yeah, I don't know. I think binoculars are probably the better viewing way to go, but definitely the creepier way to go.
I think you should just go balls out. Who cares? They're in another building. You just sit there. If they notice you, you just kind of go like that. You wave.
Just wave.
Like, what's
What if
up,
you just do
neighbor?
like what if you just do like the one, like the pirate ship, just like the spotter scope, like the one eye thing, like the handheld telescope.
the
Yeah.
yeah, that, or you get the old sextant out where they use that to map the stars. So you could do both. You want to look at Uranus and Saturn and all that, you do that, and you peek into the apartments at the same time, and you
you have-
calculate your longitude and latitude.
But you have to do it in the nude. Otherwise, it's just weird.
What,
Yeah,
you have to
exactly.
do it in the nude?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Whoever's looking. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, you're
Otherwise,
looking
it's
for
creepy.
people in the nude.
Otherwise, it's creepy.
So what if it's a whole series of events where there's a guy up here with a telescope looking over into this apartment and it's somebody with a set of binoculars looking over here, and it's somebody that has the one monocle telescope, and then over there it's a guy with a sextant, and over there it's a guy with a refracting mirror. It just keeps going down into a weird whole thing until you hit street level.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's like some sort of meetup group at that point. You try and get everyone's names and information.
Or
You
am I
meet
thinking
up.
The Sims?
What's up? Yeah, Sims. That's it.
That could be it too. Well, you're going up to experience nature where nothing is.
Yeah,
You
it's
go
gonna be
see-
great.
see
Like
the
literally
moon
up
and
a
the
dirt
stars.
road, no cell phone reception should be nice.
It's nice for a little bit. Then don't you get bored? Like, what am I going to do next?
Not really. So we're planning on just like making a bunch of food. I'm bringing up a board game that we've never played.
Categories.
No, it's called Pandemic.
Ms. Monopoly.
Ooh, Ms. Monopoly.
The hell
We
is
could play
Miss
that.
Monopoly?
You didn't see that? It just came out this week.
No.
Ms. Palooza.
Ms. Monopoly is a new board game. You know, we talked about the not communist monopoly. What was
The
it?
socialism.
Socialism
Socialist one, yeah.
monopoly. And before that they had millennial monopoly, and now they have all these other versions where it makes the game faster, or there's a thing where you can break the bank and there's like a timer and it shoots money out, and they have all these different weird versions. Now they have Ms. Monopoly, MS Monopoly, where it's supposed to be leveling the playing field between men and women when it comes to Monopoly, because apparently Monopoly is more beneficial to a man than it is a woman. I don't know how that's possible.
I was say how
but
exactly.
That's why this game is there. So one of the things that I saw in the article about the game is that if a female goes past go, she receives $240. If a guy goes past go, it's just $200. So how is that really leveling the playing field? Like, how is that making everything equal?
We're just giving us more stuff.
Yes.
I'll take it.
Yes. I'm sure I haven't read the rest of the rules, but I'm sure you're allowed to steal from the bank. You can put hotels on, even on parks and railroads. You build a hotel. Everything's game for you, ladies.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it's kind of funny. Like, I think it's just as stupid as the socialism one.
Oh, yeah,
where it's
of
just
course
like,
it is.
Why are you doing this? At first, I thought it said Mississippi Monopoly. I thought that's what the initials were for. I was like, oh, Mississippi Monopoly. Let's play that. Oh, you got Gator Alley. Nope. With Ms. Monopoly.
It's all swampland and some kind of college football team. That's all that's down there.
But it's just so funny because, like, just as I predicted, though, like a couple weeks ago, when all the people were laughing about the socialism one, now they're all on Twitter complaining about the Ms. Monopoly one and how it's like this horrible thing. I'm like, but you guys were just laughing at the socialism one. It's like, it's such a hilarious.
I didn't get when I
joke
read that
cycle
one, I kind of rolled my eyes, but I didn't get mad at this one. There's no reason to get mad for it. I just looked at it and I'm like, this is so dumb. Because now I was thinking that they're trolling people. They're purposely putting these out just to see if they can get people online to be offended by these
Has
things.
to be.
It's like, look, that game costs us, there's about $8 worth of parts in that game and manufacturing and all that stuff. This is costing us nothing. Let's just make some headlines and throw this version out there and just see if we can trend and get this going. Because that seems to be all advertisers and sponsors and stuff purchase or worry about is, do you trend? How many followers do you have? What are the interactions? What is the return on investment from having those interactions? It's all about that. So it's really, you're selling nothing. It's just air and ideas without actually moving a product or creating something or selling something physical to a person. It's just numbers that don't mean anything.
Are you talking about monopoly or capitalism?
I'm talking about probably both. But
I don't know. I think it's pretty funny.
It is funny.
It's just so stupid. But like
stupid.
Monopoly and all these board games, all their versions, they're like becoming the Mountain Dew of board games. Where they're like, oh, we got Code Red and we got Purple Blast and we got Mystery Monopoly.
They're the
and
Frito-Lays or the special Oreo flavor.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
like,
it's start of the month. New M&M, new Oreo, new Mountain Dew, new Monopoly.
Yeah, every month.
Yes. Every month, indeed. Yeah, I looked at that stuff, but I was joking about it, too, where it's like, oh, she goes past $240. A guy goes past $200. Right. But she gets into an accident, and her insurance is way higher than mine, so it kind of evens out at that point. And nobody wants to hear that in your posts.
What are all the pieces in it?
Oh, that's a good point.
Is it like a high heel and a thimble?
A boob. Just one big boob.
Oh, that'd be great. Just like a tit. One tit.
Yeah.
I think there's
just
boots because they're made for walking.
Oh.
And that's just what she'll do.
One of these days they're going to walk all over you.
No.
Let's see.
But maybe, I don't know.
What is this one? Why is there a dinosaur?
I went to an anarchist book fair the other day.
You did?
What's that?
What's
I
an
got a flyer.
anarchist?
I got a flyer for the Socialist Rifle Association.
Oh, hey, look at that. What the hell
Okay.
is the Socialist Rifle Association?
It's the same thing as the NRA, but it's not.
Oh.
Except it's fun.
Yeah, it's more fun.
Let's see. Ms. Monopoly pieces.
Yeah, find the pieces.
I'm looking. This picture's obviously wrong because it's showing a duck, a penguin, and a velociraptor.
That actually sounds pretty good. I'd play that.
I would play that too.
Oh, the velociraptor wins. You get to eat the duck.
He doesn't follow the rules. He just goes across the board. He's eating community chest.
Yeah. Raptor, damn near past go.
I can't. They're really not showing a photo of what the pieces are for Ms.
They
Monopoly.
gotta have a tampon and a dildo.
Okay.
For Ms. Monopoly.
Let's see.
If they don't, I'm not playing.
No, there's
It actually shakes.
There's some normal stuff. There's a top hat. There's an airplane. There's a chalice.
Why is there an airplane?
This looks like a an event planner or a book schedule for you. This looks like a watch, and I don't know if this is a barbell or a shake weight. I'm hoping it's a shake weight.
It's a shake weight.
Because then that's really detrimental to their cause, and I would enjoy that. That seems about it. I think that's all that's in there. But anyway, it's available if that means anything to you. Eventually, we're going to be outraged out. You know, they're going to put stuff out there just to piss people off, and everyone's going to be kind of meh. Everyone's going to be numb to all of this stuff. Like, who's going to care?
Do you think that's going to happen? Because people just love getting angry. They love getting outraged at stuff. And so I feel like, I don't know, you think we'll ever reach a point where people actually don't care? Because I'm getting real tired of it.
I think they will. I think we're going to get to a point where people can just vent needless and pointless anger online and hatred towards people, but that's just text, right? And there's people who on social media text photos, things like that. They do get frustrated stuff, but then when they get off the phone or whatever, they're like Zia was saying, you get exhausted and you're like, why am I wasting my time with this shit? So I think online, as long as it's just binary like that, no one's ever going to stop with this nonsense. But I think as a human being, you're going to look at some of this stuff and start going, it's not really worth me even commenting on things anymore, just because you're so used to things being outrageous that they're no longer outrageous, or you just become so numb to it that you just don't care anymore. It's going to happen at some point. You'll never get rid of the hate and the anger and stuff online like that, but regular people, the majority of people will just be like, I'm not clicking on this thing. I really don't need to read it anymore. Like half the time you see stuff from BuzzFeed or Refinery or stuff like that, you just go, this is obviously a clickbait thing. I don't want to read their story. Or when they do the top 10 things that you need to know about, or wrestlers or cartoon characters, you click a page, you see the thing, and then you have to click another page, so the ads change and the ads change and the ads change.
It's all just marketing.
That's all that stuff eventually you get fucking tired of, and you know not to click those things anymore. We're going to get there with a lot of this outrage stuff. Like, can you believe this version of Monopoly? Or can you believe that this person said that? Yeah, sure. All right.
Well, I've been there with that outrage for a long time. Like, anytime I see people just like complaining about celebrity shit online, I'm like, none of this matters in any way. Like, it is just fake bullshit. Like, these are just people who are doing their thing. Like, it has no effect on your life. It has nothing. Like, don't care.
It's true.
I don't know. I'm very like harsh when it comes to that stuff, because I'm just like, it really does not matter. Oh no, who's dating who? Who gives a fuck? Like, who's dating who down my street? Do you care? Nope, doesn't matter.
Well, can we change? Can we change over to an issue that I think you do care about?
What do I care about, Eric? Because I don't really care.
All the stuff that's going on with vaping right now. We talked a tiny bit during the week about this stuff.
Oh, that's stupid shit.
Yeah. So vaping is now front and center in the news, and it's not just so much as like, should people be doing this? Now they're getting to the point it's like, people shouldn't be doing this, and it's a hard argument because for me, I don't smoke, never smoked. I don't even like the vaping stuff because I don't care if people do it, but people don't respect personal space anymore. And when I have to walk through, if I'm sitting in a restaurant and the table next to us is vaping, if I'm on the train and the guy in front of me is vaping and it's coming back into me, that's where I get pissed, and I'm like, I don't want these things around anymore. But that's just a personal space issue and people being inconsiderate. I don't care if people do this stuff, and if they're dying from it, it's just like cigarettes. That's their problem to deal with, not mine. I don't care what you do. If you want to smoke up and die, go ahead, do it. But now it's starting to get the attention of the FDA, the federal government, as far as they're trying to get the American Medical Association to talk about these things, which they haven't yet because there's not enough research, there's not enough conclusive evidence. But they're up to 6 people now who are dying, and now the government's like, well, people are saying that the government needs to step in, and now the government is trying to step in and regulate all this stuff. The state of Michigan banned, I think we mentioned this before, all the e-cigarette and vape stuff, flavors, all those things like that.
Yeah.
And all together, you can't have the fruit stuff anymore. It's just the tobacco and or the nicotine straight one.
Yeah, the straight nicotine.
Other states are looking at of making a hard law that you have to be 18, 21, just like you would buy cigarettes. And that I'm actually fine with.
I thought you
I thought
had
that's
to
what
be.
it was.
I thought it was still like you still had to buy it at smoking age. I know, like the thing is, people at bodegas will sell to anybody. They don't give a shit. They're just trying to make money.
It's not
like,
just bodegas too. They were finding that. I guess depending on what state you're in,
like all those places, they don't care.
Yeah, they don't give a fuck. Like the convenience stores were just selling them because there was no real regulation on them, and especially some of those fruit ones didn't have. Some of them didn't even have nicotine. So they were just selling them whether they should be doing it or not. They don't care. The government's not telling them what they can and can't do. They don't have the little calendar that says you have to be born on this date in order to purchase this stuff. It only applies to tobacco products. So now you're getting what they're calling an epidemic, but it's 6 people at the time that we're doing this episode here that have died from complications from vaping. And look, I get you're putting all the smoke and stuff into you, and that's obviously not healthy, and it's not going to be good in some way, shape, or form. They just don't know exactly how yet. But the federal government is now like telling it. I think it's mostly Juul. I don't know any of the other named companies out there, but Juul's the one that's
which
taking.
is owned by Philip Morris.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense then.
Yeah.
So they're the one taking the big public beating. They're saying because of vaping stuff, these people are developing illnesses and sicknesses, and now we have 6 people who have died. And now Juul's been pushing back and saying, look, this isn't because of what we're doing in our product. This is because people are doing those bootleg THC cartridges in their stuff, and now those aren't fully perfected. We're not making those things. These are just stuff they're getting from other people using our devices, and the oil is now getting into their lungs, and that's what's causing the problem. So they're still quite a way from fully determining the regulations on how this stuff's going, because if the medical evidence isn't there, the law doesn't really have a whole leg to stand on. They could tax it, they just can't ban it or restrict it.
But I mean, like, but medical evidence says that cigarettes kill you, and they're still legal. So, like, even what would you want the FDA to say that they would ban this over cigarettes? You know what I mean? Like, it's for me. It's no. They're not. I don't think they're ever going to fully ban this stuff. Everyone races to the extreme, and then it gets, it bounces, it pulls back a little bit, and then that's where the truth lies. Cigarettes for generations have been said, oh, these are bad for you, these aren't good for you, they're causing all kinds of cancers and respiratory failure and all this stuff. And as they were finding out that these tobacco companies were doing shady practices as far as like selling and marketing to kids, all these things that go along with what we've learned about the tobacco industry needs to be applied to what's going on with the juuling thing now, because obviously there's a lot of people doing it. They just need the medical evidence. In the cases of the tobacco stuff, they had the medical evidence. They didn't ban it, like Giddles just said, but they had enough of the evidence to make these cases over time with these companies. They just got to do the same thing again now for Juul and whatever other companies are making these things out there. It's still a far ways away, and 6 people is not an epidemic. It sucks. No. It really does. I feel bad for their families, but this isn't an epidemic that the government can just swipe right in and go, hey, we're taking over. We got to do this because you can't do this yourself. And people are getting afraid like they're going to take them away from you. But it is a great distraction story. It is, because everyone sees everyone vaping. They see everyone using them on the streets. And then the politicians go and 6 people die. And then they can like scare the shit out of everybody so fast with the news, with all this stuff. Like, one, there's not enough evidence. Like, we don't know. And I'm a person who doesn't vape. I don't give a shit if people vape. I don't like it. I tried it a couple times and it did not work for me. It wasn't anything that I liked. I didn't like the effects. I got spacey. I coughed more.
Kevin Spacey.
I don't know. It's not a thing for me. But for the government to come out so fast and be like, oh, we're going to, start putting bans on stuff. And it's just like, there's so many things that are like killing people by like the thousands every day that you do not give a shit about. But this is something that the politicians can like hype this up, and then it goes to the media, and then the media hypes up. And now everyone's scared. And I see people on my timelines, like on Facebook and shit, being like, God bless the president, he's banning vapes because 6 people died. Like, and it's like, it's such a crazy distraction that I don't think it's as big of a threat, but I don't know. Who knows? I could be the guy, like when smoking first came out, everyone's like, hey, smoking's really bad for you. And everyone's like, oh, it's not bad for you. And there was, I could be the guy who's like, of course, on the wrong side. I don't know. I'm not like looking 10 years down the line, but I'm just seeing the way it's being picked up and run with in the media right now. And it's stupid. There's so many things that they can do.
Yeah. My issue is like, yeah, exactly. My issue is meanwhile, homelessness is on a rise to fucking catastrophic levels where we have typhus and the fucking bubonic plague coming back. And everybody's just like, nah. And the governor here like will not declare a state of emergency, which is fucking ridiculous. Yeah. Such an asshole.
There's lead in the water in Flint. There's lead in the water in Newark. No one's talking about this on the news, but 6 people die from vaping and 300 people are sick, which is probably more people were injured and killed in car accidents today in this country.
I will walk that statement back just a tiny bit. It is on the news. People don't care. It's not like the news doesn't care and they're not reporting it. They are reporting it because I see stuff all the time because Newark's not far from where I live. I'm not in that range of what the issue is, but you see it on the news all the time, and you still see stuff on the national feeds when they bring up Flint, Michigan, and other parts of Michigan that are having the lead in the water issues. You do see.
What I'm saying is, you're not seeing the politicians jumping to write legislation for it. Is what I'm saying.
No, you're not.
You don't see that. You don't see them jumping and going on TV like this has to stop these toxins, but they're totally fine because with calling out vapes because the vapes are a company. And you can, be mad at the company when
it's sort of putting a face to the problem.
The government fault.
The problem too is that people think that there's a problem. They're outraged. They want the government to do it. They say that. Now, a lot of people, if they knew how to make changes or progress, they would do it, but they don't. So they just rely on the government to do it. The government, senators, congritmen, whatever, they're like, oh my God, this is a problem. We got to take care of all this stuff when they're talking to the news as like being little pundits and shit. And then, like Gittle said, they're not doing the legislation. They're not doing anything. Or if they do propose something, it's always, well, they got to add it on as a rider to some other bill, or they just haven't even gotten to it yet. And then sometimes they're just like, well, I'm only here for 2 years. We're never going to get to it, so I'm not going to really push the issue. And then shit just sits there because people can't do anything. And then the people who can do anything don't want to do anything.
Yeah, but the problem is like it's easier for the government to blame the vaping companies for the products going wrong because that's not them. Like the lead in the water in Flint and Newark, that's their problem. They're not going to keep pointing out, hey, we need to fix this because we caused it. Like it's so much easier to point the blame at someone else and be like, they're doing this to you, as opposed to just admitting their own fault and fixing a problem.
Yeah.
I think that's what it comes down to. But it's also like now you're interfering with the private sector. Is this like something we want to do? Is this like core tenet of the Republican Party, messing with private industry? No, don't.
I think, look, I think it should be regulated, definitely. It can't just go out there and nobody give a shit about it. Regulate it like you would cigarettes, put an age limit on it. There's got to be big warning things on there that the equivalent of these cartridges is the amount of whatever, like just for a basic public health thing out there. If people still want to go and do it, then go ahead and do it. But don't get surprised when you're regulated again to, well, you can't do it in this studio. You can't do it in this office. You can't do it in this building. You have to go outside in front of the building. You can't do it in the restaurant here. You can't.
I think
that's my biggest problem is the personal inconvenience. I hated cigarette smoking. I hated the smoke and all of that stuff. Now I'm hating it again. Even I don't care if I walk through and it smells like strawberry quick. I really don't care. The fact is I'm breathing somebody else's vape that came out there. And I just walked into it, or the guy sitting in front of me somewhere, and it blows back into my face, and I can't do anything about it. That's what drives me fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Well, we still got a long way to go on this. I mean, it's all the headlines right now and a lot of the news stuff, but they don't have enough conclusive evidence to other than maybe age restriction stuff. Because I know certain states have different ages for cigarettes, but I think
all this vaping stuff is like it's all nicotine. It's still under those same like laws. Like I don't know any states where you could buy it underage.
It should
be.
It's
not that you can buy it underage. It's that they are buying it underage, like we said earlier, because people aren't checking.
Well, yeah,
when it comes to those things.
Yeah, but that's not going to change no matter what. If there's already an age restriction, they're selling it. Then like, what age restrictions are going to work? You know what I mean? they're already selling it illegally to these kids.
Right. And now the issue where, like we said, with the lung stuff, the people who were dying had those, as Jewel called it, those illegal bootleg THC cartridges. And that's not nicotine at all. That's just all the stuff from pot. Now, if that becomes an epidemic, which right now 6 people is not an epidemic, it's unfortunate. And if you don't understand why that's the case, you look up the laws for your area and see what it takes to get a petition to get a stop sign or a traffic light put on a road. There has to be a certain amount of incidents and certain amount of deaths before a county, or I think the county runs those things, right? Yeah, your county will put it up for discussion and regulate that, this corner needs a stop sign. Anywhere in the country, a certain amount of accidents and a certain amount of deaths have to happen before they can put something in there. No matter how hard you protest, it doesn't do that. Those are the facts. Same thing with these Juul things here. 6 people is not an epidemic. The news can inflate it all they want. And I'm not defending these people to smoke Juuls because I think they're garbage. I've said this, but you have a right to do it if you want to do it, is what we're defending on this thing.
Yeah.
And there's not enough evidence for anything right now. So who knows? A couple of weeks, this may just die down and you don't really hear about this again as we go into the fall.
Down.
But as of right now, vaping is one of the big stories that you're seeing on the
news because people are dying down.
There you are.
But the irony is that if they ban these, then what people are going to do is they're just going to go more to the black market, which is where the ones that are getting them sick are coming from. So you're just going to get more people sick by banning these. The only way to fix this is, if it's in weed stuff, is you just have to make weed legal across the board, because they're just going to keep making these. If you make it legal in all the states, then you can regulate it. You can have a market. You can test things. It's one of the stupidest things, not having this shit legal. And it's driving everyone to the black market where they're getting these products that are making them sick. I was watching a video when they were talking about all the stuff they put in it months ago. And I was like, I don't want to breathe that in. I don't need to get high that bad.
Right. Well,
I think people need to be aware.
I was thinking about this too. The more attention they're putting on all of this, right? And the more they're trying to point the finger at these illegal THC cartridges, right?
Yeah.
And if they're going to start saying that this is a problem, people are getting sick, because the oil, has been shown, has a lot of great health purposes, but when it's in your lungs, it's not supposed to be there, and that's a problem. Do you think that by fanning the flames on this nonsense, and they keep pointing the finger at, look, it's these illegal cartridges, does this make a stronger case to legalize marijuana because of this? If this was legal and you could regulate these cartridges going out and everything, you wouldn't have these problems anymore for this epidemic that you're claiming, or this, this breakout, if you will, that people are claiming is happening because of these bootleg things. Well, is this going to help other states pass more marijuana laws, and then all of a sudden you can make it in these states and it's regulated?
I don't know.
Well, I know here, I always thought with vaping weed, you could just vape, you just put it in a vape, the actual bud, the actual flower, you put it in a vape and you can just vape it. I didn't even realize there were bootleg vape marijuana cartridges that you could put in that were making, I didn't realize that was a thing.
Oh yeah.
So I think that
those wheels and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's so weird. I think that if it was legal, then you could regulate it. People wouldn't turn to it.
But are you talking about the vaping where they put the bud in there and then it kind of just like a Glade air freshener, it vapes into the room where you're in?
No, you still smoke it.
Okay.
But it's just vaping instead of actual smoking. It's just a difference in how it burns it or something like that. So one is less bad for your lungs because you're not taking in the smoke. You're taking in, I guess, a vape. I don't know.
Yeah, the little ones that vape the bud, all it does is it heats the bud to the temperature at which the THC will activate, basically. So it doesn't actually burn the plant. It just gets hot enough so that the active ingredient, the THC, will work. Whereas the other stuff is oils, where it's cooked down and from plants and then distilled and all this shit. It's a big long process.
Interesting.
But there's different things that are added to it along the way and stuff. But yeah, you have to if you legalize all this stuff, you can cut out a lot of these problems. But that's
I was just wondering
that's
about
a whole
that
other argument.
because when they were saying that, it's the THC oil that was going into people's lungs that was causing the problem because these aren't, properly manufactured and regulated cartridges that are people using. I'm like, if they keep pointing the finger at this, and like if this was 20 something years ago, everybody would be running to use this as a cause to even further try to ban these things because marijuana is bad and cigarettes are okay at that point. But now it's changed so much that a handful of states have made marijuana fully legal recreationally. A lot of other states have joined the cause where they make them legally for medical use. This could backfire on them going for this and like, hey, these are the problem. These are the problem. Okay, well, you know how you stop this problem? Let's regulate it. You'll make your tax money. People get it. And then that might be the thing that pushes this over the edge in some states then.
No, I think in some states it might, and I think in other states it's going to do the exact opposite. It's going to get banned. They're going to make even harsher laws to try and stop it. You know what I mean? I think that's what's going to happen in some states. I think some states will try, but I don't know if it'll actually work in any states. I mean, I think that there's the argument to be made that that's a good way to stop it, but will it actually affect the legislation? I do not know. Possibly.
Oh, I think times have changed, not a whole lot, but enough that it could actually backfire on some of these things and actually swing the other way with this.
I mean, I think so to a degree, but then I think you're going to, at the end of the day, it's going to come down to a public debate where someone's going to be saying, we need to legalize this to make it better. And so then the challenger is going to be saying, no, this is killing people and he's trying to legalize it. You know what I mean? It's going to be, that's what's the political argument's going to be when they have to vote on it. And I don't know how that's going to work.
Well, time will tell. We're only just getting started with all this outrage over this stuff. As far as the news and politics goes, so we'll just see how this goes.
But I'm sure, like all the people who die of opioid deaths every day are like, "Oh, thank you for banning vapes. That's really killing us."
Well, didn't Johnson & Johnson just get sued?
Yeah,
for all that they lost.
I think they're going out of business.
Yeah, they lost a huge lawsuit that I know they have the appeal process going, but they lost. It was in the billions, wasn't it? That they lost because they found evidence that Johnson & Johnson was being really shifty with the opioid push. And they seeded the
OxyContin and got people hooked on it. Yeah, that's a really big.
Do they have the patent, or are they just the major manufacturer for it?
Well, they basically got in trouble for making it and pushing it, and then just being the giant drug dealer. That's what happened. Like they were the ones who marketed it, and then told the doctors to give it out, and then they basically became the pipeline to just keep giving it. Like it's just legalized drug dealing.
Is that Johnson & Johnson, the family company? Was it
Johnson & Johnson, or was it was like Purdue or something like that? I forgot what it was.
Oh, it might have been Purdue because I remember reading something that
wasn't Johnson & Johnson.
I remember. Well, Johnson & Johnson there was something with them in the news if it wasn't them, but I remember also reading the thing about Purdue where Purdue State, the university, was trying to publicly, they had to put it out just so that we're the university, we have nothing to do with the company.
Yeah, it was Purdue Pharma.
Okay, yep. That's the company then. I know Johnson & Johnson was in the news for something too, but I apologize for having that information wrong.
They're trying to settle all of their opioid cases because if they don't, then the ruling will completely put them out of business. So they're trying to settle all the cases.
This is for Purdue Pharma.
Purdue Pharma, yeah.
Pharma, okay. Well,
that's just crazy. There's too much crazy shit going on. We should talk about movies.
Well, we're going to do that in the second segment, but here's some other weird shit that's going on. Popeyes, okay? Popeyes chicken, it's amazing.
Delicious.
They had the sandwiches that came out not too long ago. People went above and beyond crazy with this fucking thing to the point that they had to temporarily suspend the manufacturing of the sandwiches in their stores, and people were getting outraged saying, I can't believe you ran out of chicken. That's your sole product and you don't have enough. They had to publicly say, no, we didn't run out of chicken. We ran out of buns. They had to put this statement out there publicly. It's like, we did not expect for this to go as crazy as it did, and they just couldn't keep up with the demand for the bun manufacturers. So they said, look, until we can figure this out, we're going to suspend the chicken sandwich. And so it was only out for a few weeks, at least nationwide. Like I said, I tried it back in the around 4th of July weekend when they were testing it out at a Popeyes in a couple Popeyes in New Jersey. So their national rollout lasted a couple weeks, then they had to suspend everything. People were going crazy. People were going nuts and causing problems at Popeyes restaurants because they wanted the chicken sandwich and it wasn't there. There was a story about a week or so ago where this Popeyes in New Orleans, by the way, where they're claiming to be from, 5 people with guns went into a Popeyes and were showing them to the people and the manager saying they were demanding chicken sandwiches.
Oh my God.
And they were trying to tell us, like, we don't have them. The cops got involved. Obviously, these people got arrested. Nobody got hurt, which was good. But 5 people just walked in with guns and go, yo, I want a fucking chicken sandwich. Like, that's like we're holding it back on purpose. We're holding a reserve. But let's go in there.
Robbery.
Yeah, let's go in there and wave a gun out there and they'll sell us a chicken sandwich. Now you're going to face, felony, like burglary charges over just trying to flex nuts and try to get a chicken sandwich from Popeyes.
That's
You know what you do at that point? You just go in the back and you get a bun and you put a fucking chicken thigh on it and you wrap it up and you say, please get out of my store. And then that's it. And then like they go eat outside and they go, there's a motherfucking bone in this. And then you call the police.
Well, crazy things like that have been happening. So Popeyes now has just announced, as of today, as we're doing this,
Free bulletproof vest.
they have announced their BYOB program, which is bring your own buns.
Oh, for love of
So
God.
what you can do is they suggest if you really want the chicken sandwich, come into our stores, order the 3-piece, and feel free to bring your stuff and make your own chicken sandwich. Now, usually food places don't want you bringing outside food into their places, but they're encouraging you now to bring buns to make your own food there because they can't do it. Now, as dumb as that sound, I started to get a little annoyed and said, well, there was more to the chicken sandwich than just the chicken on the bread. They had some kind of some like seasoned mayonnaise. I think they had some coleslaw stuff on there. So like, are they going to give you the condiments to make the chicken sandwich? Or are they just saying this and hoping that people are dumb enough to buy potato rolls, bring them in and just order a 3-piece and like, I made my own sandwich?
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get a bunch of really good rolls. I'm going to order a whole lot of things, and I'm going to sell a way more upscale chicken sandwich for like double the price with better toppings. I'm going to have my own fucking Gitlins bar with like all like fucking pickles.
Gitlins.
And it's going to be
Love
awesome.
my chicken from Gittles.
Yeah, like there's going to be a whole commercial be like, do you like Gittles chicken? Well, come to Popeyes because he set up shop inside their lobby.
Yeah, you definitely won't get arrested for that.
You
It'll work out
You can't do it in
perfectly.
the lobby, but you can go and buy a bunch of the chicken strips. Then you go outside to the sidewalk in front of there, set up a little card table, and then sell them. It's like, you're undercutting Popeyes. You're undercutters, like Tom Green's bit.
Yeah, with the pizza
You
place.
sit there, it's like, we got chicken sandwiches that they don't have. We got the chicken sandwiches, and we're going to sell them to you. And you sell them for maybe $2 extra. And people just buy into the hype of buying a pre-made chicken sandwich.
Oh my god! I could sit on this street with like hoagie rolls and like my induction cooker with some like butter and hot sauce and make like like real buffalo chicken sandwiches.
Go nuts!
And then just be like, suck it, Popeyes.
Is there like a certain kind of bun that they have that they can't get? Why can't they get enough buns? I don't understand. This is odd.
No, they have enough buns. They just don't have enough chicken sandwiches. So they're saying bring your own buns, buy their chicken, and create your own sandwich.
I don't understand.
No, they don't have the buns, Gittles.
It just doesn't make.
Wait, what?
They have a bun shortage. That's why they had to cancel the chicken sandwich.
I thought you said people were inventing their own sandwiches and they were telling you to bring your own buns to make your own chicken sandwich.
No, that's what they're doing. Popeyes doesn't have buns. They don't have buns for their sandwiches anymore because they ran out, and whoever was making their stuff can't supply all their chains right now. So they're encouraging you. That's the whole BYOB thing.
Yeah,
is to
that's
come
what I'm saying.
bring your own stuff, buy a 3-piece from us, make your sandwich at your table, and put whatever you want on it.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Right.
So just get. I don't understand why they can't get buns from another distributor for a little while. Or just get extra buns. Or go to the store and get
Depending
buns.
on what it is, all these fast food places have their own licensing deals for these things. Like you can't
like
get
where they can only go to one place.
You can't.
They might not be allowed to.
Yeah, you can't get the Big Mac buns and serve it in another restaurant. They're just for McDonald's. The way that they're cut, the way that they're made, it's only exclusive to that chain or to that restaurant. So that's probably what it is. Whoever's their manufacturer can't keep up with the demand. It's going to take a while. And they'll reboot it again. They'll launch it again to a huge thing, and then eventually it will die out.
Are you saying they weren't Bready for the chicken sandwiches? Sorry, I'm on a roll.
Oh, that's good.
That might be the show
That's
title.
my favorite.
But anyway, if you want to go to Popeyes, get a 3-piece and enjoy that.
I might. There's a Popeyes on the rest stop on the way upstate, so maybe I'll do that. But they also have the Roy Rogers there, so I'm just going to eat all the pickles.
That's what you do. Because
Pickles
even
are the best.
Roy Rogers is not the same as Roy Rogers when we were younger. They're
God,
they're
it's
mostly in the Northeast here. They're regulated to truck stops and the rest centers on the sides of the highway on 95. You go in there and their burgers are kind of because they don't give a fudge about these things. They're not cooking it. They're just throwing it through the converter belt and then flipping it together and put it in the cellophane.
Converter belts? Like, what is this, like under a car?
No, you've never seen that. Some of them they lay the buns the buns.
Is that what it's called? A converter belt?
Conveyor belt.
Yeah,
I said
conveyor
converter.
belt.
Then I apologize.
It's a converter belt. I'm like, what is it converted for?
Converting buns into sandwiches.
Like, I'm picturing them putting a little cow in there with some wheat, and then it comes out a burger on the other side. Like, how did they convert that?
Yes. Hamburgers transform, and there you go. It converts right to
23
it.
conversions
A
in
conveyor
21 AD.
belt. I said the
That's
wrong
the
thing.
future.
Yeah, so they just lay it out there and they just wrap it in this this metal wrapping, like Wendy's has, and they throw it under a heat lamp, and it sits there unless you come and pick it up. Like they'll have it left out. It's like, let's see, hamburger, cheeseburger, bacon cheeseburger, chicken sandwich. They have them laid out there. Most of the time, they're empty, and there's no one back there to make you the damn burger that you want.
They don't care.
So you go over to the Fixin's Bar, and it's called Fixin's Bar. It's got the sign there, and you just you have the cups, and you just go to town with all the pickles. You stack them up, and you bring them into the car, and you got pickles for a while. They're delicious.
Are they spicy?
No, it doesn't matter.
No, they're regular. They're their version of dill.
All right.
They're fine.
That's cool.
If you want, throw a little Tabasco or Frank's Red Hot in there, swish it up a little bit.
That sounds good.
But
Frank's
yeah,
Red Hot goes good on everything, by the way. Everything.
it does. It really does. So yeah, when you go up there, take a photo of the Fixin's Bar. I'll post that
I
up
always
there.
do.
People would love to see that. One other food thing too, since we're talking about the food. Dunkin' Donuts. I posted something on my Instagram the other day about
Jeez, here we go.
I drink iced tea unsweetened from Dunkin' Donuts. That's the only thing I get there. And I just go large iced tea, unsweetened, extra lemon. That's all it is. Every time there's a problem because sometimes you get the tea and it's so dark and you look and you go and taste it and they're using the same thing as they're brewing the coffee and you can taste it. And you're like, no, I want to, like, the tea's got to be somewhat like a light brown. Oh, not clear, but at least translucent enough to know that it's a healthy batch of tea that they made, not dark and murky looking.
Yeah.
So you have that issue. Then when you say, extra lemon in there, they either give you one piece of lemon or none at all. And I don't understand how either one of those options equivalent a bunch of lemons that you want in there, because I don't do sugar in the stuff. I don't want any kind of sweetener in it. I just want lemon. And it's always a friggin' problem. Always. So I was just in a mood the other day and I posted and I asked the question, do you ever have to go through this when you go to Dunkin' Donuts? And I didn't realize that universally this is a problem for everybody that goes to Dunkin' Donuts. Whether they get tea, whether they get coffee, what have you.
Just they fuck it up?
Every time. All these people were telling me stories about, look, I don't do much that's complicated. I do milk and 2 sugars with my coffee. And it's like sometimes they're using half and because I guess you can taste the difference between milk and skim milk and half and whatever.
Oh, yeah,
It's the wrong milk in there. Other times, one guy wrote that they put sweet and low in there instead of equal, and that's a really different taste in your coffee. Some people didn't even want sugar in there, and they go and they drink it, and there's sugar in there. Like, they constantly fuck it up. And I said, well, what about other places? And everyone said it's mostly Dunkin' Donuts that does this.
Is that a drive-through thing now where people make your coffee for you? Because I've literally, I work at a breakfast restaurant and I drink a shit ton of coffee, or I used to get coffee from places. And I've never been anywhere that does your coffee for you. And like people will order for me coffee and I'm like, would you like some cream? And they're like, On the side. And like they make sure to specify that. And I'm like, where the fuck else would I put it? I'm not going to put it in your coffee for you. Like I didn't know that. So that's like a thing where people put the sugar in
some places. Yes.
Really? Okay. I didn't know
Starbucks has the policy, depending on what it is. If you want milk and sugar, they give you your coffee and then they show you they have like a bar setting over there where you can take it and pour it on your own. More boutique-y style places will do it in there, because if you say I want light foam, milks, and 2 equal or something in there, they make it to order and they'll put it in there for you.
Interesting.
It depends.
'Cause I have had people also like order lattes and they're like with 2 sugars, and I'm like, there's sugar on the table. You put your own sugar in. We're not gonna put sugar in it for you. The barista's not gonna do that. Interesting. All right.
Yeah, it depends.
That's the thing.
Like Dunkin' Donuts does not even give you the option. They don't have milk and stuff out there for you to put your
You just tell them
in.
what you want.
Yeah, you tell them what you want.
You hope for the best.
Exactly. So I didn't realize, and I thought I was just, being what the kids call a basic bitch, and just having large iced tea, unsweetened, extra lemon. Nothing really complicated about it, and it's always getting screwed up. I can only imagine the people who have complicated orders, for when they're getting cappuccinos and other kind of, mocha drinks where they want whipped cream, they want this, they want all this other nonsense in there. If those are coming out fine, but the basic stuff is the problem, then what the hell's going on with Dunkin' Donuts?
I don't know. Like, going back to that, when we were talking about coffee shops, though, like, I hate coffee shops where they insist on doing that shit for you.
Putting the stuff in there?
I hate it. I will leave a place if I don't see that I can make it myself, because one, coffee's not cheap. Like, I don't like spending $4 sometimes on a beverage and not being able to customize it exactly how I like it. And also, this is my caffeine that I'm addicted to. Let me like make it the way I like it. I'm paying for it. But I think a lot of places do it because customers will just take too much of the milk product. And like, I understand that. I've been to places where I've seen people like dump out half their coffee, fill the entire cup up with milk to the top. It's like, that's expensive, like
that's
you
gross.
Money, but there has to be a balance.
Yeah, like McDonald's. A while back, McDonald's launched the McCafe, and people were like, "Why would you go to McDonald's for coffee and dessert stuff like that?" Well, no, there's young people that go there too to get this stuff, because McDonald's doesn't let you put it together yourself. Like, they don't give you your coffee and then or certain, like, if you want foam or syrups or whatever, and then they say, well, there's the sugar, there's the milk, and you finish how you want to do it. They don't do that at all. It has to all be done by them before they give it to you. So that can be an issue, just because if you try to, like, there's problems with fast food too, because people don't give a shit about working those jobs, and they don't care that you have a special order. There's been plenty of times back in the day where I'd order something big, it's like extra pickles. That's it, extra pickles.
Yeah.
And you'd get something and there would be no pickles on it at all, or there'd be one. And go, and they charged me 15 cents extra for this, so you got to go back there and go, this is not what I paid for.
Nope.
Or you wanted I don't know, extra sauce, maybe another piece of cheese, whatever you want to do, and you got to look at everything. If they hand you a bag at the drive-thru and you go to look at it and they're like, oh, could you go over there, please, because their clock is running? I go, no, I kind of want to make sure my order is right. And the second they say, it's like, could you move right away? I know they fucked something up. So I'll pull over in the park and look, and lo and behold, something's wrong. And then you walk right back in. Now you look like the asshole because you came back into the counter and you got to tell the managers, like, hey, this is not what I ordered, blah, blah, blah. And then they go over and they show the person at the window and they're like, this isn't what he ordered. So now they're looking at you and like, now they're going to spit in my food. This is going to throw it on the floor.
Do you think that they do that on purpose because they fucking hate everybody? Or do you think that it's literally they just do not give a shit?
I think a lot of it is
I don't think they get paid enough to care.
So they just don't give a fuck at all.
No, I mean, why? I can't just say it's the service job like stuff, but obviously you see more there where people don't give a shit because they don't want to be doing those jobs. But in a lot of jobs now, you're seeing anything service related, no matter what level it's at, people just don't give a shit anymore. And and then there's the thing where they want more money. They got the $15 raise for the minimum wage for basic living issues and stuff, and a lot of those places said, okay, cool, we're doing that, and then they eliminate their staff, and all the Burger Kings, Taco Bells, any of the chain stuff that's in Manhattan, all touchscreen. There's a couple people behind there's people cooking, and there's a couple people, like 2, maybe 3 prepping the stuff as it comes into the bags at the counter. That's it. You're not getting all the stuff that they used to have anymore. It's these giant iPad things. You press your order. If it fucks up, it's your doing because you hit the wrong thing. They eliminated so many people. Taco Bell, there's a Taco Bell around the corner from the studio in Manhattan. And they even have a bar there too. Like you can order beer and stuff at the Taco Bell. But it's all
like Demolition Man.
It's just a row of screens. And you go through the row, you find one that's open, almost like the self-checkout at a Target or a supermarket or something. You do the thing there, take your ticket. Do you want to go and pay at the counter, or do you want to pay here on the machine and then just go over to this counter where it's just handed to you? And that's it. That's where it's going. Nobody gives a fuck, so okay, you don't give a fuck. We're going to just add more computers and eliminate more people until people start giving a fuck.
I don't know if that's going to make people give a fuck.
It's not. It's not.
Like, I don't think it's gonna.
I know business thinks that, but it's not. They're just they're just like, oh, cool. We'll just put more computers. We'll put more screens on there. Oh, did you have our app? Which that's another thing too. I've never used an app to order fast food, but I saw somebody using it. I said, really? You ordered through there? And he said, yeah. Because in the city, some places do deliver. So they'll deliver your Taco Bell, your
everything
your Burger
will deliver
King, whatever.
Like,
right?
I can call anything right now and get it delivered to my house.
Well, when
That's
you're not
amazing.
but this is, I'm not saying like even through DoorDash, those assisted services, Uber Eats. These are the companies themselves that are offering the delivery. It's through them. When you're not in the city, you don't have that, but you have the apps. And he was telling me, he's like, yeah, I can do it here in the city and they deliver it. But if I do it at home, you have to go pick it up, right? Which is fine. But they also don't start making the order until the sensor recognizes that you're at the store. So I said, then what's the point?
What's the point of that? Yeah.
And he says, I don't know. He said the Burger King app does it. He goes, the McDonald's app is infamous for it, where you put your order into the app. And it says, okay, cool, you're going to go pick it up now. Okay, hit this thing and let us know when you're there, and we'll start making your order. You're like, I'm looking at this. So I go up and I look online, and there's screenshots, and people have videos and stuff. So what's the point? You do that so that, all right, they're going to make it so in the travel time to get to the restaurant to pick up the food, it should be done. This thing doesn't do anything until it can recognize you're in the store. Then they make it. So why didn't I just order there instead of doing it on your stupid app?
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Like the Domino's app works awesome because it's like that. You order and then it tells you when it's in the oven. You watch it, you can get there and it's done and you just grab it. It's awesome.
I love the Domino's app. If we weren't in an area that had amazing pizza, I would be doing the Domino's app.
That's what we get because the pizza here sucks. So it's just a bunch of it's Domino's.
But you get to watch it. You sit there and watch. Like, oh, the second bar, it's not red anymore. It's blue. It's on its way.
Yeah, it's on its way. Hurry up.
It's so exciting. Yeah. Yeah, it's so exciting.
Well, we'll figure that. I think I got to stop going. Because I like drinking iced tea during the day. Somebody wrote to me and goes, well, maybe you don't have to be, a stuck-up city person and actually just make it at home and bring it with you. And I wrote back to the guy.
You make sun tea.
Well, I do, but it stays at my place. I'm not bringing it to work. And I said,
why not?
I wrote to the person. I said, okay, say you do that. All right. That maybe lasts the length of the commute, maybe a little bit when you get there. What do you do for the rest of the day then? I have an empty cup that I brought with me, and now I don't have tea for the rest of the day. What do you do? That's why these places are there. They're service places for people who want coffee, who want tea, who want little pastries, donuts, whatever that are added onto it. But they're mostly there selling coffee and tea, right? That's what they're there for, and they can't get that right. So what do you do? So I realized, look, the Starbucks tea is okay. It's not really that good. The Dunkin's is always hit or miss. When it's good, but it's rarely that good. It's usually there's always some kind of burnt taste to it or bitter from sitting or being brewed in the same coffee's urn or whatever the fuck it is that they're using.
You would think if you're selling coffee and tea, you'd have a fucking coffee maker and a tea maker.
Coffee maker and a tea maker.
Or maybe they're the same thing. They're just interchangeable. It's like, okay, you take the filter out of this, you put this in there, now there's the tea, you just brew it in the same machine.
Well, I mean, that's how I have a Keurig, and that's how mine is. Like you can, and I did that at first. I was making coffee for myself and tea for my husband, and the tea would just come out tasting like coffee. It's like there's no point. Just
that's where it was. I was so frustrated. And now I keep thinking about it. It's just when you don't you're so used to doing something for so long and you don't realize you can change this up. And that was my awakening moment with this. I said, no, I think I just got to cut ties with Dunkin' Donuts. Yeah. And I know they sponsor things, and I'm sorry, but I think I got to cut ties with Dunkin' Donuts, and just said, I'm not getting tea there anymore. I don't care if the app is convenient. I can send it, and it's sitting there waiting when I walk in. It's just not worth it anymore. And I'm not a big fan of the Starbucks tea, so I'm not going to do that either. So I think I'm just going to have to buy cases of Pure Leaf, which I love, the unsweetened Pure Leaf tea, and just have that available at all times, whether it's on work, at home, or something like that. Because I can't rely on these unless I can find a nice little boutique style place.
But why don't you just make your Sunbird tea or whatever it is and just put it in mason jars and bring it and leave it at work? Like, I make my cold brew concentrate in big tubs, and I just leave it in my fridge at work, and then when I need some, I just fill it up, and then it just stays there.
No, because anything in that fridge doesn't stay. There's people that are scavenging at this place, and they just take things and eat things, and you have to label it.
So why don't you put on there, "Don't eat me" on it, and people will respect it.
And that's
just write poison on it.
Yeah. Poison pizza.
Oh, no, I'm not making 2 trips. Not doing that. So, yeah, I got to find a new alternative now, because I don't think Starbucks is the way to go. There was a Tim Hortons
near... Do you like that Argo place? Have you ever been there? Argo Tea?
No.
It's in the city. It's like a Starbucks-type chain place, but all they have is tea.
No. Argo. Okay, I'm going to have to
ARGO.
find one. I'll have to see if there's one in Midtown where I'm at.
Had a lot of different teas.
That sounds like the place I want to be at.
Yeah. I think it might actually be owned by Starbucks.
All right. I'll have to go and look for that then. So I guess my days with Dunkin' are done. There was a Tim Horton near when we were working at Sirius. There was a Tim Horton around there, and I don't think I don't think they sold tea though. I think because people were going for donuts and coffee, but I'll look for Canadian, an Argo tea. Yes, it's a hockey player, and yeah, that's pretty. I guess that's about it as far as that. We're gonna go take a break. When we come back, we got to talk some TV and movie stuff here. Just real quick, anybody give a shit about the Apple updates that happened this week? Their announcements?
No. Nope.
The thrill is gone for any kind of, what's the new phone going to be? Oh, there's 3 lenses for the camera instead of 1 lens for the camera. And
womp womp.
Real quick side note, I see that trending trypophobia is trending in partnership with the Apple trend. Right?
I hate falling down, so I have a fear of tripping.
trypophobia. Trypophobia. If you look it up, it's the fear of small holes in an unflattering pattern.
Oof, that's a specific fear.
Yeah, it's such a specific fear. You've heard of that?
Yes.
It's terrifying.
I saw it because there was I saw some images that randomly there were memes and images going around of that and how it was freaking people out of little weird holes and things coming out of the holes.
Yeah, that's so dumb. Yeah. It is really dumb.
Well, that's why it's a phobia.
Yeah, I don't think it's a phobia because I looked it up. It's not recognized by any medical board, the American Psychiatric Association. It is not classified as any kind of mental disorder or legit phobia. It's just in fact, the traces go back, from everything I read, go back to 2005, where this started showing up as an online thing, and then 2009 on Reddit, where people started naming the thing, and then people just
made it up.
Well, I guess somebody might have legitimately had it, or just came up with this thing. This could be something almost like 4chatting it, if you will. Where they just go, let's see where this goes. And then it wasn't named until 2009, because a few different sources quoted that there was this Reddit post or Reddit feed that named this thing in 2009. And then people just started posting photos and videos like they would, and people just decided that this is going to be a problem for them, and they go nuts for it. So I see this thing trending as much as I see the Apple stuff trending, which is, number 1 in this country at the time all this is going on. So I'm looking at these things, and and like they're showing photos of honeycombs and sponges, and like people are like, oh, this is freaking me out. Or if they look at certain types of plants that may have these little budding seed things that come out of them, or sunflowers that have the whole pattern. And this is the thing where they're like, this is reading the shit online, where they're like, this is really triggering my tryptophobia. And I was like, go fuck yourself. The phone has
really
three.
Triggered, or just saying that to get a rise out of people.
Are
we talking like real fears here? Are we talking like Maury Povich were throwing pickles at someone and laughing at them?
It's exactly. There's enough people saying that this is a thing for them, right? Which again can be bullshit. But I think you're right, Gittles. I think it's in that vein of Maury Povich type phobias, where people said that they have this issue, just to say that they have an issue. Or to have attention.
I'm afraid of the sound that cotton makes. It's like, how is that a fear? Like, it's like, I remember that.
We had a female intern years ago on Opie and Anthony, who her name was Jill, and she had problems with cotton balls, and she had the problem with the sound that cotton makes when you rub it together. And I think towards her last day, we made her sit there as we threw cotton balls and stuff on her. I'm not.
What sounds is cotton ball? I know my hands are cotton. I know that, but I'm like trying to picture what sounds it would make.
To me, it just sounds like nothing because it's just soft. What does it make a noise?
It does. It makes like a rubbing noise, almost like if you were rubbing. I don't know, like
Carpet?
Cotton.
No, not like cotton. It's if you were rubbing
exactly like
scissoring.
If you had a balloon, right? Or some kind of latex or rubber like that, and you were rubbing it on, say, like a marble counter, and you know how it's making that noise when it rubs against a flat surface? That's sort of what it is for rubbing the cotton together. It makes a noise, but I don't understand how that was irritating to anybody. You can hear it.
It's not like nails on a chalkboard.
No, not at all. It's just a slight rubbing noise. Almost like steel. You ever use steel wool on anything?
Yeah.
Right? Now, if you're not using it on wood or something to actually smooth the surface, but if you just rub it against something that's really rough, you hear like you just hear some kind of definitive noise that's like, oh, that's what it just sounds like when it brushes against something that it's not trying to sand and polish down. That's sort of what rubbing cotton together is. And she would freak out over this thing. And we laughed at it because we were not nice people, but I just don't understand why this was a thing.
People have weird fears, but I don't know. It's
a fear
the
of
cell phone
holes.
one is weird.
The three, they're like, it's triggering me. It's setting me off. I can't look at this. It's freaking me out. Why do they need three in there? And I was thinking about it, and I was like, what do they have three there? But if you look back in the day at black and white films, old television, when they'd show you behind the scenes of how stuff was made, a lot of those cameras is a 3-lens system. Where it rotates and adjusts and everything, and that's how they were getting their depth of field and all that, was a 3-lens system. So whatever they're doing now with the phone, apparently is supposed to upgrade the quality of your phone. And there's a feature for slow fees now, where you go to take a selfie, but it slows it down almost a little bit like this, so it's, like when a supermodel would be coming out of the ocean and whip her hair back and the water would go like that real slow. That's what you could do now with your phone, and that was a major selling point in this presentation.
That's not going to be good for a lot of people.
No. I hope more people get hit by things by sitting there trying to take a slow fee. Vehicles, things off of buildings.
I hate that name, Slow-fee. Ugh.
They are the one that coined it.
Vomit. That's terrible.
Yep. Slow fees.
Selfie's bad enough. Slow fee.
And then they had Apple Arcade, which is just like Xbox, their Xbox game thing, where you pay a service, you get all these games for a certain amount of games for a month. Their TV Plus was unimpressive, even though their price point was like $4 for a month. But they're saying you get a brand new show every month. Ooh, it's like, who gives a fuck? You don't have anything. You have some show starring Jennifer Aniston that no one cares about.
Yeah, I've been seeing a bunch of articles about that. Something about she's like a TV executive or something. I don't even think I'll watch it. I love Friends so much, but I just, nah.
Yeah. There was not enough to care about any of their stuff they did. And the phones that they were putting out there, they had 3 versions of the 11 that was coming out. The high end version of the phone was $1,100. It's like it's like you gotta knock it off. When video game systems were getting up to be about $500, when they were at $300, I was screaming. It's like, this is way too much for these video game systems. Now you got the phones pushing $1,200 because it's got a bigger memory and all the new gadgets and all stuff. Like, and there's people that run out there to the stores first day to be online to get those things, or all the pre-orders. They're, instead of doing work, they're on there trying to hunt it down, get in the queue to get the pre-orders for these phones. I said, this is ridiculously expensive. They're going to get to the point where a phone is so common now, you don't need their phone anymore. Like, anything that they put out there wasn't really revolutionary and wasn't going to be damaging the competition out there.
No, I think with iPhones, it's just a status symbol for rich people to be like, and people that want to be like, look at me, I have an iPhone. It's like, who gives? Okay, great. Who gives a shit? Fucking iPhone.
Yeah. The one thing I did see in relation to that was sort of a saving grace is that they're doing, like, they changed contracts a few years ago. You can't just lock into a contract and pay the contract off. It's a lease situation. Like you're leasing a car, you're leasing a phone for 2 years. Here they had this is where the price point thing comes into play. So the high-end phone, you can get it for $27 a month. And now you look at these prices and it's like, that's $27 a month. This one's $23 a month. This one is $19 a month. Like, oh, that's pretty cheap. That's great. I could swing that. Right, but then you're locked into this lease thing with the phone. You know how long it's going to take to pay off $1,200 for your phone when you're paying $27 a month? It's going to take a long fucking time to pay off your phone like that. And people fall for it, and people go for it all the time. Oh, like, they are saying that you can, if you have the iPhone 10, you can instead, if you hand in the iPhone 10, instead of it being $11.99, you can get it for $6.99.
Yeah, it's like 3.5 years almost.
Right. So
that's insane.
Okay. It's just ridiculous. Like, I don't need you need a phone to do a lot of stuff now, but you don't need a phone right away the second something new comes out.
No, it's just a marketing gimmick. They're just trying to get everyone to get it so that they can say that they sold so many on their first day, so that people run out and buy more. It's just such a gimmick. Just whatever works for you, get it.
Yeah, you don't need it anymore. Don't waste your money. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to fly through TV and movie stuff here, and we'll see you in just a second.
More, it's Erik Nagel.
It's Erik Nagel.
Next. It's Erik Nagel. Follow the show on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, and Facebook at It's Erik Nagel.
Hey, it's Matt Eisman. You're listening to It's Erik Nagel.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. Myself, Giddles, and Zia here on the program. Looking at last week's box office, coming in at number 1 is It Chapter 2. Exactly. Coming in at number
2.
1.
Oh.
No, 2.
There's only 2 and 2. There's 3 of them, not 2.
There's Chapter 2, and then coming in at number 2 is Angel Has Fallen, which is the third one in the Fallen. I guess it's a trilogy.
Sure.
Unless they make more. Series. We'll call it a series. Number 3, Good Boys, which I think Giddles went and saw, right?
Nope.
You didn't go see it? Somebody I thought saw it. I thought it was you. All right. Apparently I'm wrong. Number 3, Good Boys, which is the Superbad and Junior High. Number 4, still doing well. I'm impressed. The live action Lion King from Disney. And number 5. Yeah. And number 5, Fast and the Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw. Still out there.
Because nothing else is out.
Yeah, nothing else is out right now. They're going to start coming out soon, I think. Because I think Rambo comes out.
Rampage's week.
Yeah, Rambo comes out in 2 weeks. That'll be a big deal. What comes out this weekend? Let's flip over there and see. This weekend, The Goldfinch. We talked about that last week. And then Hustlers, which is the J-Lo movie about strippers and such. Now, we haven't talked about this on any of the other platforms that I'm on, but one of the producers from the movie reached out to us about trying to license a clip from Opie and Anthony to be used in the movie.
What?
Right. So there's like a 10-second clip. From what I understand, there's a scene where they're in the car. I guess it's a flashback point. and they're in the car, and while something's going on in the car, they're listening to us. They're listening to Opie and Anthony. So we got the information. They were like, well, who has all this? Who's that? I'm like, I have all the archive. That's me. So I have the stuff. And then they needed O&A's permission. So told Ant. Ant signed off on it. Tried getting in touch with Opie, and he did not respond at all. We did not hear from him at all on this issue. So I just sent everything in saying, all good. We'll see if it shows up in the movie. I don't know if I'm going to go to the theater to watch it, but if you're going out to see The Hustler, or the Hustlers, plural, let us know if you hear the Opie and Anthony clip. It's supposed to be a car scene, I believe. So keep your ears out.
I'll probably watch it just for that.
Yeah, see if the O&A clip, if they did use it in there, if they did, let me know, and I'll try to figure out where it is and see if I can pull a clip to use on Anthony's show or something like that. But yeah, I mean, who didn't want to be in the movie? Apparently, he didn't want to sign it. So
weird. Oh,
well, moving on. So you got Goldfinch and the Hustlers opening up this weekend. Next weekend is Rambo Last Blood and Downton Abbey. Those are the big
I hope that somehow it's a
movie?
Yes, Downton Abbey, the movie.
Right.
What?
Yeah, it's a movie, and the Queen comes to stay at Downton Abbey, and they're all like, "Oh no, the Queen's coming, and we have to make dinner." That's literally the entire trailer. I wish I was making that up, but that's the whole fucking trailer. Like, what are we gonna make?
I've seen the show. That's what it is.
It's about an abbey, and it's downtown, and it's Abbey Normal.
Abbey Normal?
Yeah, no, I got nothing.
Well, that's it for the movies. For you care about rounding up for September. There's wait, is that the? I don't know what this is. Oh, it's a kids movie.
Abominable.
Which one? Abominable.
Oh, Abominable
Comes out at the very end.
Oh yeah,
month.
It didn't.
The Snowman one.
That intro. It's like a very kids movie. I see kids movies sometimes, but and there's one I want to see. It's like Epic or something. The one with Tom Holland. They're like trolls or something. I don't know. It looks cool. I want to watch it. I'm probably gonna go see it.
Yeah, I don't know that one.
Nice.
I think that's.
Let us know how it goes.
Oh well.
Other movie stuff. I see that a couple of you went out and saw some movies. Giddles went and saw Ready or Not.
I did.
We talked. Did we talk about that last? No, I was supposed to go see it, and I didn't get a chance to go.
Yeah, I saw it Saturday, so we definitely didn't talk about it last.
We can talk about it if you want. Go ahead.
Yeah,
it's not going to spoil anything for me.
I won't spoil anything. I will say it is a really fun movie. It's an hour and a half. It's a horror comedy. Like, it doesn't take itself too seriously, but it is very, very gory. There is a lot of deaths and an ending that I really think Erik is going to love. So I can't wait for Erik to see it.
I'm very intrigued by this.
Because I know Erik, and I know how he likes things to end, and I just feel like it's such a ridiculous ending to this movie. Like, I can't say anymore, but it's ridiculous.
Hercules. I am excited.
But yeah, it's really good. I liked it a lot. It's super fun. It's quick. It's to the point. Andie MacDowell's in it. I had no idea she was in it, and she's great in everything. And she was amazing.
I didn't know she's still acting. The last thing I remember her was Groundhog's Day.
Yeah, and that just kept repeating on her.
Yeah,
and
she got trapped in that loop.
She was in a bunch of stuff, I think, after that. Because I saw her in something else recently. But yeah, definitely see it. This might be the last weekend it'll be in any theater, so if you could see it in a theater, see it. If not, it'll probably be on demand.
I'm going to try definitely this weekend to go, because I do want to watch it. It's not like something I'm just going to watch for work. It's something I actually want to watch and enjoy.
Well, it's just really funny because it's like this whole family, and it's like this weird board game family, and they have like this thing that they're trying to do, and like they don't know what they're doing.
We're
like,
going to play Ms. Monopoly tonight.
Yeah, there's do not pass go.
Explosions.
But but there's just like really funny scenes because they have like old timey weapons they have to kill people with, like, or they're trying to hunt this girl with.
Right.
And there's like a scene where the dude's literally like watching a YouTube video in the bathroom, like, here's how you fire your old timey crossbow. He's like, I have no idea how this fucking thing works, and he's like, I have to kill somebody. It's like that kind of movie. It's great.
Well, I definitely am going to have to go see that. I want to see it. I'm going to try my best this weekend to go and see that movie.
Try your best, Erik.
Try your very best.
While you went and saw that in the movie theater, Zia went to go see the reissue of The Matrix in the theater.
Ooh.
Yeah, it did.
Was it the trilogy or just the original?
No, just the first one. Just
Okay,
the
the good
original.
one.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
How was it?
No, it was great. I hadn't seen it in a number of years. I don't know, since I was like a young teenager, like 14 or something. So it's been a while, and it still holds up. It still holds up like really well. It's still so good. And I know that they had like redone it. I watched it in like the Dolby Cinema with like surround sound, and I think it was was it the laser one? I don't know. Regardless, they did a great job making it look awesome. It didn't even look old, except for obviously there were some moments that the CGI and what is that? The word I'm looking for?
Yeah, CGI, the
Yeah.
effects.
The effects they didn't look great, but the choreography was awesome. Keanu Reeves is great. It's good.
So the effects don't look good. Do they look very dated? Is that what it is?
Well, just a couple of them, just a couple of moments, but still not that bad.
Like the parts where he's getting sucked into the phone.
Yeah, stuff like that, or like
It's usually stuff like that where like it kind of like makes the person like stretchy or like move.
Any kind of
like, never,
body dysmorphia. Yeah.
Yeah, that stuff never works out, but like background stuff usually works.
But other than that, I mean, they did the practical. I guess you call them practical effects when they're in the Matrix. It was real enough that you're watching it and you're like, oh, I still believe this.
Nice.
So all in all, would recommend.
Yeah, I would definitely go back and watch that in theaters again. It was a great movie. It was a groundbreaking movie.
It was great. I haven't seen that movie since the 2000s.
Editing and
yeah,
I would love to see that scene where she's jumping off the roof on the motorcycle and just like lands on the. That would be like fucking awesome.
They're making a 4.
Yeah,
and I don't know how they're going to do that. It ended in 3 with him dying. So where are they going to go after that? What the hell is 4 going to be?
That announcement was only about a month ago.
Back in the end.
Yeah. What'd you say?
Oh, I said they made that announcement about a month ago that I don't know what their names are now since they changed over, but they announced that they're going to write and direct the 4th movie, but that's all anybody knows about it, other than Keanu's back on board and Carrie-Anne
Fisher. Yeah.
Yeah, is that her last name? Carrie-Anne Fisher?
I think so. Carrie-Anne Fisher. Yeah, I think. I will look it up now.
Seems about right. So they're doing that. I have not seen. I didn't watch any movies this week. I had so much other stuff going on, which was unfortunate. I'm trying to watch a lot of this.
No, it's Carrie-Anne Moss, I think.
That's what I thought too.
Is it? Why did I think Fisher?
Who
wow,
am
what
I
a
thinking
dummy.
Wall?
Carrie-Anne Moss.
Carrie-Anne Moss from Matrix. Where am I getting the wall from? Oh, the girl from Daredevil. I'm thinking of her.
Oh, yeah.
She's got one of those 3 names too.
Yeah.
I think her name's like Carrie-Anne Wall or something like
that. Deborah, I think.
Deborah Wall.
Yeah.
I'm not close on any of this stuff. I'm just throwing darts all around, hoping to land on the board, and I'm
I know.
close.
I'm like having to Google this shit.
Yeah, I don't know what this
I'm talking about.
This is why we need a full-time producer. But
Such an idiot.
That ain't happening anytime soon. I think that's it for. I don't think we have anything else on movies there. But hop over to TV. There was a few things that we saw. I saw the Bill Burr special. I saw it actually. I was waiting. I'm like, you know what? It's coming out at midnight. I'm going to watch it. This will be great. And then midnight comes around. I was like, where's the special? I don't see it. So I go 15 minutes after midnight. It's still not there. It should be on the front page. So I go to search. I see all of Bill Burr's specials. It's not there. And then I went, oh, this is midnight on West Coast time.
Oh, yeah, because they probably have to wait Pacific.
So I said, no, I'll just watch it tomorrow. I can't do this. And I fell asleep on the couch. And I woke up, and it was just after 3 a.m. And I said, oh, Netflix is still on because it was sitting there on the menu. I said, let's just go back to the main page. And lo and behold, there it was.
Nice.
So I said, well, now I have to take this as a sign and watch the special. And I did, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was really good.
I loved it.
I just saw the Chappelle special. I just caught up on that one.
What'd you think of that?
I thought it was fucking great.
I thought it was funny too.
I feel like people that didn't like it don't understand comedy, and it's frustrating, and they're stupid. Like that's where I'm at with that. I'm like, oh, if you didn't like it, you're an idiot. Cool.
I don't know. I had mixed thoughts on this.
Am I calling you an idiot, Giddles? Shit.
I don't know. As a fan of
Foot
comedy,
mouth
I thought he took a lot of really easy jokes that he could have, gone other ways if he was really trying to be clever. But that's just my opinion.
Zia, you got to go and listen to last week's episode, and
we did a very deep dive on it.
I appreciate his balls.
We debunked a little bit about the Rotten Tomatoes issue. About when they're like, it only got 17% for the critics there, and this is outrage. And then we were saying like, well, they didn't have enough critics in there. It was only 6 people that reviewed it at the time, and then the numbers started changing. All the rest of the
reviews came out. It's at like 85% critic reviews. So there really isn't. Good. So there isn't these major complaints that everyone's talking about. It was literally people upset that there was 6 negative reviews in the beginning, and they shit their beds for the last 3 weeks complaining on social media.
Right.
I saw an article saying that only the worst kind of white men liked that special.
Yeah.
Somebody wrote.
That's usually the case because white men got blamed for Ocean's 8 not doing well, and white men got blamed because
Ocean's 8 was terrible.
Because Ghostbusters 2016 didn't do well.
Also
but
terrible.
I would say the same trolls that downvoted all those movies before they came out were probably the same people who upvoted Dave Chappelle's.
Quite possibly.
I would 100% say that without a doubt. Like I'm not even like trying to be controversial.
That wouldn't be something that everyone goes, no, wait, maybe.
Of course they would. Yes. Dude, these are trolls. We're talking about internet trolls here.
Yeah,
if they know that they can get a rise out of people by downvoting Captain Marvel 3 months before it came out and crash the reviews, then they will totally 100% give it 100% upvote if they know that those same people are upset that it's getting positive views. Like, I mean, it's just rocket science. It's not rocket science, rather.
Well, if you haven't seen the Dave Chappelle special, which is called Sticks and Stones, it's on Netflix. You should definitely give that a watch and make your own opinion on it.
It's funny.
The Bill Burr special I watched, I vote very good. I thought it was a really good special. I thought it was very funny. Giddles, what do you think?
I thought it was really good. And here's the thing. I think Bill Burr did some of the same kind of jokes that Dave Chappelle did, like talking about the same groups of people, but did it in a way where it didn't come off as old man and angryish, I would say. He talks about trans people, and it's not as nearly as offensive as the way Dave Chappelle talks about it.
Right.
He talks about the Me Too movement. It's not the same way Dave Chappelle talks about it, but he still talks about all these things, and it's crazy how the difference is just by the way they tell the jokes, but literally saying the same exact content.
Yeah.
I can't wait to compare and contrast.
I wouldn't
because
say...
they literally say the same jokes. Like, in a way, it's just Bill Burr tells the joke differently, and the way he tells the whole story as a whole, I think is what put it over for me over Chappelle's, just because like Bill Burr had like a very overarching storyline, and it ties up in the very end where like it comes full circle. You're like, okay, this all makes sense. But it's very similar jokes. You'll see. Okay, but I thought it was great.
I typically I don't think I've seen a Bill Burr special that I haven't liked, so
I actually didn't like his last special, and he even addresses that in the beginning of this special.
Was the last one the black and white one?
I think no, the last one was not the black and white. The last one was
the last one was from Nashville. The one before that was the black and white one.
But it's funny because he opens up the set like kind of joking about how people didn't like that one. He's like, look, you stopped telling jokes about fat people, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's people complaining, because it was literally like 40 minutes of fat shaming. I was like, dude, like, I turned it off, like, because I was just like, you know what? I could take jokes after a while, but this is just pathetic. But this new special is
feeling that way. Interesting. Okay. Maybe I'll go back and rewatch it.
The last one, he kind of like, he went like way over. I was just like, all right, dude, like, I get it. You don't like fat people. But he, like I said, in this special, he like addresses it in the very beginning. He's just like, everyone's a critic. They didn't like this, and blah, blah, blah. But I thought it was great.
Well, go check that out. That's available on Netflix for your viewing pleasure. Trying to think. There's nothing else really TV wise that's coming out at the moment, because the TV season.
When is that new American Horror Story season?
Oh, that starts next Wednesday on FX.
Because I haven't watched that in like 3 seasons, but I'm a big fan of 80s cheesy horror movies that like I might tune in just because
this might be up your alley, because all the previous seasons somehow all tied together in some way, shape, or form, whether it was music used during certain scenes, certain people, characters rolling over into different seasons. But at the last season, I think, was the culmination of everything that was going on, and they had their big whole blowout tying all those seasons together, and then you had this. And then this is now a clean break for the American Horror Story series. Now, this is all new stuff, new people, and it's going back in time. This is going back into the 80s.
84.
And it's like a Jason-style scenario at a camp. There's a fucking crazy killer out there. He's got some kind of blunt weapon. He's hunting people down. At least this is what we're getting from the little teasers and the promos that they're airing.
But I think they also showed the same clown from the carnival, like the Twisty or whatever the clown's name was, from like that earlier season.
Freak
I think
Show?
like Freak Show. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that he is teased in this one also, but I could be wrong.
I thought somebody told me that it doesn't tie into the previous seasons.
Oh
wow! Maybe it does.
I thought I saw a screenshot, but it could have been like It could have been like one of those fake screenshots. I don't know.
The only season I really watched was Hotel, because
I liked Hotel.
It was Lady Gaga and Kathy
Bates
Bates was in it, and other people that I don't remember the name.
First season, and then I think I watched the second season. I think it was Freak Show that I dipped out on, whichever season that was.
I think that was season 4. Season 3 was The Witches, and I didn't like The Witches.
Oh, I didn't watch that one, but I wanted to. Well, you didn't like it?
I didn't like it. It just wasn't my kind.
That
wasn't
was the
my kind
Coven.
of horror.
That was the Coven series.
Yeah, the Coven one.
Yeah. Okay, interesting.
My favorite season still is season 2. I thought season 2 was the best. A lot of people don't like season 2, but I thought Asylum was the best one they did.
Okay, yeah. I watched 1 and 2, and I think I stopped after that. I liked the first one, and I actually like the second one, too.
I feel like the ending was better on 2. I would actually recommend Hotel. If like 3 and 4, like Freak Show and Coven, meh. But Hotel was pretty good if you just want to see like a gory mess of a series.
All right. I'm down for that.
This night. Sorry, the Hotel season. It's that noir feel in a hotel back in, like, I'll say anywhere from the 20s to the 40s, like that kind of feel. And also felt a little BioShocky to me.
A little bit, yeah.
Because there was creepy.
And the hotel almost felt like the hotel that John Wick is at.
Yeah.
At times,
it has a bit of a Shining thing mixed in there too. Like there's a lot of homages to classic horror and creepy and terror stuff in there.
And they filmed at like a really famous hotel, I think, in LA.
It was gutted, from what I understand. It was a very famous hotel, but it was not being used.
Oh, okay.
So they went in and they.
Was it?
You have to look it up, but they cleaned it up and to use it to shoot for production.
Because there's supposedly some like haunted hotels here. One of my friends was really excited, and she went to go stay in one of them. And I mean, I don't know if anything real actually happened, but it supposedly is legitimately haunted. I kind of want to know.
It says the Hotel Cortez, but I don't know if that was the name of it just for...
I think that was the hotel name in the show.
Let me see. Filming, set design. Let me see.
Well, while he's looking for that, the new season...
The James Oviatt Building in downtown Los Angeles.
Oh, it's downtown. See, I don't go to downtown, and I'm not even joking. Fucking typhus and stuff like that. Like, I'm legitimately don't want to go downtown. There. Yeah, like, just don't. It's not worth it because people in the fucking Department of Water, not Department of Water and Power, but like the city buildings, they're all downtown, and those like employees are getting typhus and stuff like that. Yeah, because there's a bunch of rats and shit running around downtown.
Yeah, because you just have like, homeless encampments. That's going to happen.
Yeah, and trash and feces in the street. It's everywhere.
Gross.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
LA's not a good place.
No, it's really. I got to get out of here. We're really trying.
Get out of there.
It's not long before an earthquake comes and fucking breaks it off into the sea anyway.
I'll tie into the LA stuff here with another show that's also on FX called SnowFall. We've talked about this in the past. It was John Singleton. It was John Singleton's, I think, last project. He was the executive producer and showrunner for this thing, and I think he finished the 3rd season before he passed away. But it's a story about how the CIA was bringing cocaine into the United States, and somebody in I don't know if it's South Central or one of the parts of LA there, where this young guy is very smart, very bright, figured out, I think accidentally, he accidentally created crack cocaine.
Yeah.
And started to push that out into the streets, and people were getting super addicted. He was making a ton of money. Then he started building an empire, and then he's dealing with drug lords. He's dealing with the CIA, all this stuff. The third season just ended, and I think they have a fourth season coming. But if you haven't seen this yet, if you got access to the FX network for their on-demand, or FX Now, I think it's called, if you can watch SnowFall, it's really, really good. And there's nobody in there of any namesake that might take you out of it. Like, oh yeah, there's the father from Growing Pains is in there. Oh wait, Alan Thicke, he's dead.
I was gonna say, is he still alive?
Or there's Phil Dunphy from Modern Family. He's the neighbor in this thing there that's gonna throw you off. It's all great actors, but there's nobody there that, at least to my knowledge, that I've recognized them from anything else. So it really helps with the story that there's nobody there that you can that will take you out of the story or take you out of the focus of what's going on at hand. And there's 3 different stories going on at the same time. So if you get a chance to watch this, it's really good. I can't recommend it enough.
I'll check that out.
Yeah. I don't know if there's any more TV stuff. I guess, well, we could save Harry Potter for next week because we're running out of time. Harry Potter, we're going to need Zia for that, about the being some church, some pastor banned Harry Potter because he believed the spells in there was actually causing, the resurrection of demons and Satan. And,
oh my God. I can't wait to talk about this. I'm holding it all in.
Yes,
we'll save it for next week.
Save that for next week.
These are real people. They really believe this shit.
Right.
I know.
But I'll give you a little teaser, because we'll go into depth about his reasoning for all of this. But there's a little teaser for it that the community pushed back on the church for this.
Like the church community?
The church community pushed back on this.
That makes me so happy.
So,
okay, cool.
You know why? Because the church community is like 35 and read Harry Potter when they were like 14.
Right.
And they're like, yeah, we're
talking about.
Like, we know it's not witchcraft. Why? Pulls off the mess because we are witches.
Expelliarmus clitoris, or whatever it is.
No, you're watching Pornhub, Eric.
Oh, that's true. Right. Her pants are gone. How did that happen? Magic.
You're watching Harry Donger.
Harry Porker.
Yeah.
Vibrating wands, yes.
Yeah.
So we'll have that for
Sorcerer's Stones.
We'll have that for next week. And then also, I saw this story, and I've been getting better without rushing to aggravation all the time now. I saw this story about, I believe it was another Vice article talking about the show, the sitcom Friends, and how awful a show it actually was.
Oh, I agree with every article that talks about how awful Friends is.
Oh, Giddles.
I love Friends.
Giddles, why do you want to hurt me? Why do you want to hurt me on the inside, Giddles?
This is just how I do stupid.
Damn it, Bubbles.
I am not Bubbles.
So we'll talk about that next time, too. We'll debate the whole Friends thing.
This is going to be fun.
Yeah.
Ugh,
so we're going to talk about that. And then
we're all going to leave enemies.
We'll be not friends.
All right, never mind. On that point, we're going to go and do the plugs here and get out of here. Gittles, tell the world, where can they find you and what do you have going on?
Oh, wow. That's a lot. Gittlebase on the Twitter, Instagram, and Xbox Live. And going on, not much right now. Just finishing up setup stuff for the cooking show. And
we can't wait for this. Ready. When is it starting?
Soonish. It's hard because Comic-Con coming up and getting everything ready for that and getting things set up. It's taking a little more time than usual, but it's almost Comic-Con. There and it's going to be good.
Right. All right. I'll talk about Comic-Con in a second. Zia, what do you have?
Please go follow me on Twitter and Instagram. I need jobs. It's at Zia_land. It's XIA_land. I will also have some stuff set up here soon. I've got my green screen set up. The last piece of thing that I need to set everything up is a desk. And then I'm going to start streaming some video games. Nice. I'm going to do like some cooking stuff of my own. I have well, actually, I'm gonna save it. If someone steals my idea, I'll cry. It's actually probably already been done, but whatever.
Oh, no.
No. It's been done a bunch of times. I'm just being an idiot. But I have
your idea, writing them down.
I know Giddles is like, I've got it. It pertains to it pertains to Harry Potter. So
Nice.
I'm gonna do
Harry Potter cooking show.
Kinda, yeah.
Where she's like, with all these ingredients here, I am going to make this meal. And she casts a spell, and then it's the YouTube jump cut, and now the meal's done.
And now the meal's done.
Her whole cooking show is
Maximus.
5 minutes.
I'm gonna make polyjuice potions and stuff.
Yeah.
But I will
Chicken
have that
cookies.
stuff soon. Yeah.
Chicken
Fuck yeah.
cookies. Chicken
Eric,
cookies.
what plugs do you have? Yeah, chicken cookies. I don't know spells. I don't watch
Cookie
wizard
bakiest.
shows.
For me,
your
it's
shows.
E-Rock Radio across the board on social media, but more importantly, the show, it's Erik Nagel across the board on social media. Like us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Next week, we'll start giving you some updates for New York Comic Con. We are going to be there all 4 days. We're going to be doing the show from the floor, from the press area, from everywhere that we normally do for New York Comic Con. We will be there. What is Giddles smiling about? What are you holding in your hand?
He has fucking Cookie
Oh,
Crisp.
yeah.
Birthday cake? Are you kidding me?
I tried those. I forgot to put those up. I got so many consumer reviews I still need to put up there because I'm so far behind
I
on
sent
all
you
of them.
one.
You did. Zia is doing a celebrity consumer review, which we're going to
Yay.
post. Giddles has done a few in the past. Zia's turn is coming up here. And yeah, we'll have New York Comic Con details for you next week. And then, I also have a rant about Instagram photographers. I forgot about that. We'll do that too. Oh, we never talked about the creepy guy. Zia's creepy guy. She has some updates.
guy.
Her sugar daddy, her online sugar
Oh my
daddy,
God.
has hooked her
Do
up
we- do what?
even more.
We're talking about it now?
No, we'll do it next time.
No, next week.
Next
Okay.
week. All right, but until then, everybody,
Be excellent to each other.
And have a wonderful time.
and we'll be seeing you.
It's Erik Nagel.
How you doing, pal? Funny running into you like this. How long have you been shopping here? Did you notice the grapes are on sale? I'm a little light, could you slip me a 5? But for now, I'll just say goodbye.
Alas, we're out of time.
Follow It's Erik Nagel on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. For ways to listen to the show, go to itseriknagel.com. And remember to tell 2 friends so they can tell 2 friends.
And they can tell 2 friends.
And they can tell 2
And those 2
friends.
friends can
And
tell
those
2
2
friends.
friends can tell 2 friends.
Well,